Hey, well, my name's Cory Chambers. I'm a martial art instructor and owner of the Green Dojo in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. I fought both amateur and professional and MMA and did Muay Thai as well. And then now I'm a martial art instructor.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to really say. I don't know how else to hype myself up.
No, man. I don't think you. I don't think you need to hype yourself up.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Yeah. Whatever. Back at you, but I'm super proud of you, man. I never tell you that, but I mean, people don't know how long we trained together. I don't think actually.
No.
Like, I remember always telling you, man, look how good you'd be if you trained all the time. And then watching your results, I was not shocked at all, right? Straight up. So
it's funny because like the last 6 months, that's what Eric Wilson has been saying. You should never train, or what? You just never train anymore? You should maybe try training.
Well, it's the truth though, man.
I'd spar and I'd be like, oh, I'm tired. He's like, yeah, you should try training.
Well, I remember when you'd come in, man, and you'd be the most dangerous guy in the room rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then cardio would drop off. I'd be like, I'm like, well, here's Cole, imagine if you could keep that up for the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and your pressure is what wins you your fights too, right?
Yeah.
So it's like good to see. You definitely got to get back in there, in my opinion. So Eric's right.
Yeah. It's good, man. Yeah, we trained for like 7, 8 years.
How long were you at Scheers for?
Scheers, I think like 7, 8 years, something like that.
What year did you start?
Maybe, I don't know the year, but I was like 2012, 2011.
Yeah, I think maybe around that. Like, I think Flint came first, right? Then Graham, and then you? Or you guys all kind of came at the same time?
I think they were there first.
Yeah, because I remember Flint coming. I remember like Kip introducing me, like, "Hey, I was at Scheers," and then he said like, "My friend Flint wants to train," and I remember he came, and then we trained, and then it was like I remember Ham coming, and then you.
Yeah, because I don't think I hung out with Flint and Graham till after I was already training
at Scheers.
Yeah.
So what's your Watson connection?
This is Chris.
Well, where are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
Like, I was born in Saskatoon, but I never lived there. I just moved everywhere.
Gotcha.
But I lived in Wadena for a little bit.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, like a small town,
and then
right?
Demi and Kristen were good friends.
Okay, yeah.
Really good friends. So then that's how me and Chris became friends.
Such a small world because we even have these funny little connections outside of martial arts too. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. So then, and then it was weird because when I started training at Scheers, I met Flint and Graham. And then they're like, oh yeah, we know Kip. We know. I was like, what the heck, man?
They're older, right?
Yeah.
Because Ham's my age and I don't know how old Flint is.
Yeah, I think just a little bit older than me.
Well, we all had full heads of hair when we first started at Scheers, and none of us do now. So
I do.
Yeah, whatever.
You're never talking about
flash his hair.
Yeah, man. And you did. Okay. How long did you fight amateur? How long did you fight pro?
I was trying to think of that. I think I fought my first fight 2009, and then I had 2 fights right away. I think within like 2 months, and then after that, tried maybe take some time off. I didn't win those fights, and it was like it went and worked on some stuff, and then I started focusing more on my striking. Then I started doing some amateur Muay Thai, and then I can't remember what year. It'd be right when they start doing the pro cards. I can't. Maybe I've been punched too much, but I can't remember what year it is, man. I think it's like 2000.
When I think of years, I think of like my dad talking. Like 83, I was.
I know, man.
It's like, I don't even know how you know that.
I can't remember any. Like, I'm trying to think. I would say I fought 2014 pro. I think I fought 4 years, probably amateur. Maybe 12 or 13. Or maybe 10 amateur fights. Counts in that. But like 4 MMA, and then maybe. Not doing terrible math right now. But I can't remember. Yeah.
And then pro, you did how many fights?
I think I had 1 and 3. So I had 4 pro fights.
4 pro.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
around 15 fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's wicked.
Yeah.
So let's start before that. What got you into fighting?
Okay, so I actually have like a funny catalyst or origin story. I actually started in pro wrestling. Know this?
Yeah.
Like me and my friends in high school were obsessed with pro wrestling, and it was like I said, right when I move away from high school, I'm going down to Calgary. I'm gonna go train in the Hurt Dungeon, and I did that. I literally, I think August after high school, I moved down to Calgary, and then I like had saved up some money, went in there, and when I started training actually pro wrestling in like the Hart Dungeon. And it was actually the last group because like Stu Hart passed away. They closed the
Mhm.
whole dungeon. So it's kind of like this weird little era. The first thing I ever actually did for combat sports is pro wrestling. And I like, people might be like, oh, that's fake. But it's like, if you've never done it, man, it fucking hurts. It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hard to do. And it's like, obviously there's like aspects to it that I wouldn't do in a real fight. But it's like, I'll always respect pro wrestling. Even I'd list it as a fighting style, kind of as a joke, but also like as respect to like
Yeah.
how hard pro wrestling was, man. So yeah. I
That's
kinda always did those homages when I was coming out and having my mask and kinda having a flashy entrance, trying to, like, pay my homage to pro wrestling. I never really got to do, oh, I did actually eventually do pro wrestling in 2020, but then, after my fight career, right? But I had to, like, complete it because I felt like I never did actually complete the pro wrestling
mm,
part of it. So it was like everyone in that Hart Dungeon, there's guys that went on to be, like, world champions and guys that went to WWE, and then there was just me who didn't do nothing. So I felt like I was kind of like a dropout from that program. So then I had to, like, 2020 when I'm done fighting, I went and, like, did a pro wrestling training camp just for some fun, and then on, like, 3 days' notice, my friend called me and was like, "Do you wanna come do this? We're doing, like, a Royal Rumble kinda thing." I went in
oh,
there and I was
really?
like drove down to Edmonton, and then here's my other part of the story, where everyone knocks on pro wrestling. I go down, we do that pro wrestling, my friend gets, like, a move done and breaks his back. So, like, I come out of that thing, I get eliminated, I follow him to the ambulance, and I spend the night in the ER, like, for real. He breaks his back, I was gonna get a hotel room, I just end up sleeping in the ER with him, so I'm like, this fake pro wrestling. I've never
Mm.
any fight events I've went to, I've never spent the night in the hospital, but a pro wrestling event, I had to sleep the night in the hospital with a guy that was hurt. I'm not saying we haven't went to the hospital after fight events, but, like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Pro wrestling's no joke too, that's basically what I'm going with.
Do you have that on video? That
Yeah,
match?
I can send you some clips.
Heck yeah.
I went and I did another one maybe a couple months after that, and then COVID happened, and then I was just like, I'm too broke for fighting, I'm too broke for pro wrestling too, you know what I mean? So it's like at that point in my life, I was just done with everything.
And that's the whole wrestling thing. Do you know Dave Ma?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, man, he just posted his top 100.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
No.
Did you see it?
Like pro wrestlers?
Yeah. He just put it of all time.
And he had 100?
He had
Fuck
100.
yeah, Dave.
And like a little write up on each one on why they're in that spot. It's pretty cool.
So, like, even I still try and, like, watch wrestling and them, but I've came to the terms that I only like, 80s and 90s pro wrestling, like, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
watch any like, I'll watch new stuff, like, Royal Rumble's coming up, I'll make sure I watch it, like, WrestleMania, but I don't really honestly watch, like, Monday Night Raw, I'm teaching here and stuff like that, and I just don't watch it the same as I did, and then people are like, "You like this?" And I'm like, "This." And I'm like, "Ah, yes." And then when I watch it, I just end up, like, putting on, like, old 90s pro wrestling, so I'm, like, get in the mood to watch wrestling, and then I'll just put on something I actually enjoy. I just came to terms with that I like
Not even 2000s?
like 2003, I basically got to cut it off. Then my friend TJ wrestles in WWE, so I can watch when he wrestled, but
Yeah.
now he's not even wrestling anymore, so I have like trouble watching.
What about like Royal Rumble?
I don't think I've ever missed a Royal Rumble my whole life. That's my
Yeah.
favorite thing. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
when I got to compete, they're like, "You want to do a Royal Rumble?" Like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And I was like,
Funny, man.
"Yeah."
That's cool, man. Wrestling's sweet. Even the heck's his name? Skip? You know Skip? He was a boxing coach in Saskatoon. Uh French.
No, I don't.
And
Maybe I
he's
know the
from
face.
Montreal, but he hosts wrestling shows.
Is that Prairie Pro Wrestling?
Maybe.
They like sell out that one venue there, and like they have banging shows down in Saskatoon. I used to
Yeah.
always go when I lived down there. It's kind of like my escape from fighting. They'd have like a promotion called HI Dub, and I'd always just go crush them with like a meat kip there sometimes and stuff like that. Or with Joey, we'd always go. That'd be
Oh yeah, I remember
our
that.
monthly
You guys
thing.
were
We'd kind of
always
go
there.
watch that pro. Dude, and it was like my escape from fighting. It was just like,
Yeah, I don't know if that's his or not. But I just know I always see him. He used to be a boxing coach, and he's pretty big involved in the pro wrestling.
okay,
But he speaks French, so he does a bunch of shows in Montreal and stuff as well, in
and then
Quebec.
comes back and forth.
Yeah, he lives here though.
North Battleford.
No, Saskatoon.
Okay,
I keep
remember
yeah.
what city we're in, bro?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you lock your car?
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I remember because during COVID, we had like this little fight club.
Yeah.
Like a couple of gyms would get together and spar and train and stuff during COVID. And this guy had that in his garage a ring, so we'd all go to this guy's place, but like it was so springy because it was a pro wrestling ring. So it was just like loud and springy, and we're just boxing on it, and it's just like the
Oh,
loudest boxing.
your
Yeah.
footwork sounds completely different because it's got that little
Yeah, and it's just loud too.
yeah.
So every time you move, it's just like, and it was like, but it was fun. It was good.
Sounds the noises of pro wrestling are a big part of the show, right? So,
Yeah,
like even when
right.
you're bumping, you're trying to explode and make it as loud as you can and stuff like
Yeah, yeah.
that. So I know like Saskatoon's got a good show right now. I think it's called Prairie Pro Wrestling. I went to a couple of them, I think.
Okay, well, let's get back to what's So what made you start coaching?
Okay, so
Where did Green Dojo come from?
well, okay, well, like Green Dojo's like me and Tyler, my best friend Tyler Warren always had like a spot we trained back in North Battleford. I lived in Saskatoon and he lived in North Battleford, and we come back here and we were training, right? So we'd always kind of we didn't really have a name for it, right? And then we come back and we go back to home, and I tell Troy I was training back home, and oh, in your little garage spot, and then we started calling it the Green Dojo. And then that was probably like 2000. I'm saying like 12 or 10
Mm,
that we actually had so it's actually like funny this became a really actual spot. But then back to when you were talking about you had this little club. Truthfully, I remember like COVID happened. I like stopped pro wrestling, moved home from Saskatoon, and I was watching you. You had your little club in your garage, man. It was actually like pretty inspiring. I've told you this before, right?
right.
And then I was like, man, we should like start training again. Then we got a little club, and it was like only like 4 or 5 people here in North Battleford training in my garage. And then it was like I got this student named Layla, and her mom I went to high school with, and I started doing privates, and her mom started paying me. So actually I was like, okay, now I'm like making some money, a little bit of money doing this. And I added a couple extra students, and then it was like, then before you know it, one day I got a message from someone, and he's like, hey, you ever thought about opening a actual spot? Because I'm like posting on Instagram that we're training in a small little garage with a bunch of people. And then it was just like when I looked at the spot and I just said, fuck it. And we kind of went with it. And then I remember doing some rentals for a couple months and then getting some mats, putting them together. And then we were definitely not ready to open when we opened. And then I just remember telling Tyler, and Tyler, my partner, being like, dude, I don't think we're ready to open. I was like, fuck it, man. No one's going to come. So let's just open tomorrow and post that we're coming. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah,
Whole bunch of people showed up. We had like 12 or 14 people show up, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I was not expecting this.
that's
And then it was
cool.
kind of like a learning curve. The first couple months, I was kind of like felt like I was running around with my head cut off a little bit. But then back to when I went to Scheer's martial arts, I taught there for 10 years,
Right.
right? Like I've been teaching martial arts. This is probably my 15th year teaching martial arts now. So
Yeah.
it's like I had a really good platform at Scheer's. Like Troy gave me a lot of leeway, and like I started my own kids movie tie program there. I ran the sparring class that you'd always come to.
Yeah.
So it was like I did all these things that I always think like I didn't really have a good job, but I did all this stuff at Shears. I felt like that was my education. That's what I was doing. And I was like doing all these classes, and I'm like really grateful for like the platform Troy gave me. He gave me like a lot of leeway, a lot of trust. Every fight event, I still call Troy.
Yeah.
He's still always going to be my coach. I always check in with him. Now, even we're like relaying stuff. I'm like, hey, you should start a women's only program. He did it, and it's like super like,
Cool.
yeah, like we just have this great repertoire. And I like hope one day like my students think of me like how I think of Troy. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So, but I'm like super grateful. But like that's how it started. Like I had this platform at Shears. I still do basically what I did at Shears here. I just basically got to transfer it to where I live,
right.
and it's like going through there. We have a great relationship with them. A couple other gyms, North Wake, MMA Center, jiu-jitsu programs from. So like all this other stuff. So we're definitely
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But that's where it started, right? And I told you before, like when I watched you post, and I was like, man, this is a good idea. Like let's start training. And it's like fuck COVID
Yeah.
on the virus.
I just, I just, I just thought I was gonna get freaking fined.
Raided one day.
I was just like waiting to get fined because some days it's just like there's 15 people in my garage,
Dude, it was
and just
impressive, man. It was
cars
like,
outside my house.
whoa, yeah, and we
like
weren't like
someone's
shy on
recording
social
me.
media about it either, too. It was
No.
just, and I was like, fuck yeah, cool. Like, it was cool, man. Fuck that. It was awesome, man. So I was
Yeah.
like, truthfully, that was a big catalyst to me starting my own. I told you this. I told you
Yeah.
this when we were talking before. That was a big
Yeah.
part of like,
It's
starting.
crazy. It's crazy how similar like our stories are.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to me is like I started making money, and then I was like, well, now there's like 14, 15 people here. Like that's, and then somebody mentioned to me you should contact Alliance. I know they're going through
Is that how
some.
I don't really know how you actually started that there. Is that what?
Yeah, one of the people I was coaching,
Yeah.
he also trained at Alliance, and he said you should contact them because they're going through some coaching changes. Maybe you can get some you can help coach
Like a
there.
spot there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that was like right when the other boxing coach Vicky started coaching there. So then I reached out to her, and then we were both started coaching there. Kind of, she started before me, and then she let me come and start
Graham's
coaching.
awesome too. I really like
And
Graham.
Graham is awesome.
Graham's
He's
awesome,
so
man.
easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Like just a laid back dude.
Yeah, I've always liked him.
So yeah, after COVID, like I never went. I've never done electrical since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny when they, like right now it's these harsh winter days, and like for my whole fight career, I worked construction. I was out in the cold during my fight career. Getting older, it sucked, man. And it was like when I opened the dojo, it's like I have this like I'm not getting rich doing it, but I got to do what I love every day. I'm
Right.
not outside and freezing doing construction. I got to put my tools away. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing this, and it's like a lot of people that did martial arts don't get to come up on that side of it. So it's like I'm super grateful that I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And how do you like coaching?
Dude, I'm a way better coach than I was a fighter. I'll tell you that much. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like I've always had that. I'm super proud of my connection I make with people. Like, I don't take myself too serious as a coach. Like, I'm not Mr. Miyagi. I'm not the like wisest guy in the room. Sometimes I can be the worst behaved guy in the room. But you know what I mean? But I know every one of my students know I love them, and like I'm there with them. I'm here at the dojo every day. I'm here 6 days a week, training with everyone, sometimes 7 days a week. You
Right,
know what
right,
I
right.
mean? It's like I'm definitely like passionate guy on martial arts and coaching. I love it. And like all my people in my gym, I'm like super grateful. We have this fight team. We're not a big gym, but look how much we competed last year. We're definitely like a swim team that goes in the deep end of the pool. We're not just
Yeah,
sitting in the shallow end treading water.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like last year we had a lot of losses, and I learned a lot. So like, even as a coach and a fighter, on losses you learn, right? But for me, it's like learned a lot this year. Probably the most I've ever learned in my coaching career is this one. It's one of the hardest years coaching, but it's also like I learned so much. I was saying no to fights for the first time,
Right.
telling my pulling one of my fighters opponent didn't make weight, and it was like too much, and I was like, "You're out. We're not doing this." And then it was like different stuff like
Yeah.
that. Where before I would have been just like, "No, guys, we're doing it. Come on, blah blah blah." So it's like can't just be a samurai when you're a coach. You got to be a general.
It's like it's so much different. It's so much different, like when it's you
Yeah.
compared to when now you're like leading people,
Well,
and
exactly.
now
Before
it's
I
like,
would never ask for an easy fight. I'd be like, "Yeah, let's
yeah,
do it, let's do it." But then it's like now when you're at the coach, I'm watching them train. I want them to progress. I don't. It's not my face getting punched.
right.
So I gotta like
It's so much worse, hey?
way. Yeah, it's way worse, man. I get
It's so much
and I
worse.
love my guys here. I'm so attached to everyone too. So
Yeah.
when they fight, I'm getting this little nerves. Before I corner all the time in shears. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I was just like kind of a serial killer about it, where I'm just like, "Okay, go jab," like calling out instructions, putting ice on their back and stuff like that. I'm cheering for them and hoping they win, but I'm not as emotionally invested now that I'm the head coach and they're my guys, if that makes
Right.
sense. I don't mean that as a disrespect to the people that I cornered. I
No,
just
no,
mean
no.
it's a way different thing
Yeah.
when they're your guys and you like brought them from day one. I have guys that have like I'm their first coach. They've
Yeah,
been here and
yeah,
they're already fighting and they're doing that stuff. So that those people, I'm like,
yeah.
even after my one last fight, I had this guy, Big Fiji, fighting, man. And it was just like this heartfelt fought. He lost us like two super heavyweights. It was like the fight of the night at the Rumble in Cage. They had this like awesome back and forth fight. Fiji gave it everything he had. Like we had to put oxygen on him at the tank, man. I was like, I just broke down after. I was just like, I hate seeing my guys like that. Like, but you're like so proud because they're giving them, you're giving you everything you got. But then it's like part of you just is like protective of them too. And you're like, what are we doing? And then I remember, well, this is what we fucking do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like combat sports, you're always gonna have that part. And like some of my students, like moms, are like, my mom doesn't want me to fight. I was like, bro, no one's mom's gonna ever want you to fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who wants to beat someone up in front of their mom, anyways? It's
Right.
like I remember like my first ever fight, I like invited my mom to it. I'm like, hey mom, you gotta come. My mom brings like a row of people. My first fight, I get like taken down and my head gets cut. And my mom, you couldn't write this. My mom gets sprayed with my blood. She has like white pants, so she had like a streak of
Ooh.
my blood on her pants. I get knocked out and like ground and pounded after I'm knocked out. Boom, boom, boom. My mom's like right in front of this stuff. And then she was like pretty shook up. And I was like, yeah, maybe next fight, let's talk. Like, and it was like, so then it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. And I was like, your mom's whole life is they're going to protect you. They're not going to want you to fight. But it's like, are you doing this for your mom? Because I'm
Yeah.
not. And
Right.
it's like, I get it.
Yeah. Go ask
But
your dad.
yeah, but even the dads don't like it
I
too. Some of the
know.
dads, it's just like,
Yeah.
fighting's got to be for you, not for your coach, not
It
for
is
anyone.
like
It's got to be for you
it's
because
such
you're
a
getting hit. You might get laid out on the canvas. You might get ran over.
it's like so much information out there now too. Like now it's because even for myself, like I love fighting. Like sparring is my favorite day. Like I would fight if there was no CTE.
Dude, that's all you used to
I
train.
know. Yeah. If there was no CTE involved, I would spar 7 days a week.
See, so that's the thing too. Like we would do stuff back in there. I never knew about CTE.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I can
Because
remember
now
getting
I'm thinking about my boys, and I'm like, do I want them to fight? I'm like, I do, but like, do I want them to be like slurring, maybe potentially?
where they can't even remember what year they fought
Yeah, man.
professionally.
Like
And
that's
no,
what I'm thinking about now.
exactly, man.
So like, I totally understand it.
Even stuff we used to do like shoot box training. I remember when I first started, and it was like you basically like the rules were like you got to get 3 takedowns in, and like if the guy's knocked out, you're like hurt, you stop. But it's like you got to the point where you're getting taken down and like hurt. I can remember driving back from North Battleford to Saskatoon, pulling over and like puking, coming back in, starting the car, and driving back home. And then going and training the next day. Like, do you know what I mean? I remember one round I got knocked out, went and had a couple drinks, and went back and started training again. For real.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you're just like, no, I'm good. And there was no coach there just at that point. Like my head coach is gone that day. So there's no one there to be like, hey man, you shouldn't go. So I'm just like, oh, what's the big deal? I feel great.
Yeah.
Where I realized like, hey, I got this chink on my brain now. From
Right. It'll be interesting to see how it is now, because I think most gyms aren't sparring
like they used to.
hard.
No, and it's good.
It's like 95% of the time we're like doing technical sparring, and then like there's that 5% where we do hard days when you have a training camp.
You have to have a couple in a fight
You
camp.
have to. You have to.
Otherwise, when you have an actual fight, it's going to feel like such a
If
culture
the first
shock.
time you get hit hard is in your first fight, it's not going to go well.
No. If you did like the whole touch butt sparring the
Yeah.
whole time, it's going to be like,
Yeah. Even like even though like I trained, you know, like I Scheers, like, and then when I switched over to boxing, and when I did my first boxing match, because I just touch sparred so much, I pretty much touch sparred my first fight. And it was like so weird. I ended up losing that fight by decision.
yeah, but I watched that fight. Didn't
Yeah, I thought I
yeah.
did think whatever.
Anyways, yeah.
So then we had a rematch the second fight, and every punch I just sat down on, and I killed him the second round.
Finish him?
No, never finished him the second one. Decision again. But it was just like so clear. And like even just my jab being stiff just stopped him. He just didn't know what to do. And just like from the first fight where like again, like I hit him a lot, but nothing hurt. You know, it was just like sparring.
See, that was the thing too. I always really gave you big credit for too. You'd have like this really crazy volume, but you'd pull your punches super good and you're accurate. And you'd have this like when you first started, you almost had like a hybrid of like boxing, like Keith Jardine with like Roy Jones Jr. I don't even know how to describe it, dude. But now it's like, oh, my buddy, you're like your own style. Didn't you like do some boxing with your buddies, just like freestyle, like when you're like super young? Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Do you have any of those old YouTube clips?
Yeah, I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like they're probably still on YouTube, to be honest. That's all we did was just boxing. I was actually in Medina, again, Demi's parents' basement.
Yeah.
Cause we cleared out everything and we just hung out bags and like we just boxed down there. And there's like so many videos.
Fuck yeah.
And we would just have like tournaments and stuff. And that was before I trained at all.
So like, what year would have that been?
That would have been 2007, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there.
Gotcha. That's crazy, man.
Because I think I graduated 2009.
How old are you?
34.
Just young.
35 next month.
Next month? What day?
6th.
Okay, happy early birthday, bro.
Thank you.
Probably forget. So.
Thank you. So what do you feel like in this gym you bring from Scheers? What, like the mentality, the mindset?
I think I bring me from Scheers.
Okay.
Like I had my own style. I think as a coach there, like I definitely was Muay Thai orientated when everyone else kind of had like a hybrid of like karate and boxing.
Right.
And then it's like, so I kind of brought that after going to Thailand, I kind of brought back that old more like traditional Muay Thai style. And so I bring that here. And I mean, I'm not the only striking coach we got here. We got a couple other guys that do striking here. Like he teaches it sometimes. And then I got Cory, different Cory, that teaches, and he's got a little bit more of a karate style too. So it's like, and we got a boxing program that we started here. Got a guy named Dan Frotch. He's like a little bit older, but he's like, I think 1989, like provincial champion. So it's like an older school boxing style, but it's like, So there's a bunch of
Yeah.
different striking styles here, and it's like I don't know. I just think I bring like I think my strongest aspect as a coach is like we got good vibes here, and it's like good energy on the mats every time you come here, and it's like I think that's probably my strongest point.
That's wicked, eh?
Yeah,
It's it's cool because even I just remember like when you were coaching at Shears, when I was at Shears, it was like you were probably one of the funnest guys to train with.
I appreciate that. I always enjoyed the
Yeah, and just like we became friends. Like we were
yeah, yeah,
friends
definitely.
quick. Where like other trainers were trainers,
Yeah.
right? And then, but like you were just like chill. You were like you were talk,
We had a good connection right off the hop from the second we met,
yeah.
man.
But like even how you coached was like you were to the point. Like you said the truth, but not in like it was like in a positive way, kind of. It wasn't like condescending or like
Well, everyone has their
angry.
own style too. I never
Yeah,
really try and like change too much. I kind of just give stuff, and I'm like, you better watch when you do this
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But it's like,
But from you, when it comes from you, I can tell you care. That's why
yeah,
you're saying it. You know,
yeah, definitely,
it's like
I do honestly
freaking
care.
come on.
Yeah.
And then when I came here and trained, like that's the exact same feeling I got. It was like nostalgic.
Oh,
It was
really?
like
That's
training
awesome, dude.
again at
Yeah.
Shears with you.
Fuck yeah, man.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that is cool, dude.
Yeah, I think that's that's what makes like a really like brotherhood kind of gym.
Oh, honestly, like right now, like obviously, and like there's like we have a really good camaraderie in our people, like in our team. Like it's crazy, man. Like everyone's I got these like there's people that are friends. They have like group chat. Like the younger kids have like this Green Dojo group chat that I'm not in. I'm the old coach, but I was like hearing them. I'm like, well, you guys have a group chat? They're like, yeah, we have this. And there's like this younger group that come in and travel. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's cool, man. And then there's like we do have this big group chat too, like of the older guys and stuff like that. But like even there's like a younger like Green Dojo community that's like having this group chat where I was kind of like, that stuff means a lot to me, right? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of stuff is cool. Those are wins,
right.
right?
What do you think so when you think about training, when you think about fighting, when you think about coaching, and you think about building a gym, like which one was the hardest for you?
Fight. There's nothing harder than fighting.
Okay.
And only people that have fought will know that.
Right.
Fighting is hard, man. So that's like even when we're going down to these events, I remember like I always said, I was like, man, I'm not an undefeated fighter. Like I remember Lee Meehan coming up to me. This is after I just had those two fights when I first started fighting. I fought Majid Hamill, one of his fighters.
Mm,
Goes on to be like unified featherweight champion, really tough guy. And I was kind of down on myself after this thing. And I remember Lee Meehan coming and checking and see if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay, Lee. I'm like, I'm 0-2. I said to him. And he like put his arm around me and he gave me this like badass smile. And he's like, people with bad records like to fight, man. He's like, chin up. And like gave me, and I was like, I always remember that. I was like, so I see people where it's like, we're fighting this guy, he's 0-2. I'm like, hey man, someone who's 0-2 likes to fight. You had one of your fighters, Ryan Moore.
yeah.
I don't think he had, I don't know how many fights he'd had. I don't think he'd ever won.
No, he was 0-6 MMA,
Yeah.
and then just
And he just,
won his debut
and
boxing.
like a dog, right?
Yeah, man.
Because he fucking likes to fight.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't really know him personally or anything like that, but I was like, for me, it was a guy who like kind of had a similar road that was always never saying I'd fight anyone.
Mm,
I never really asked any shit like that. You know what I mean? So watching Ryan win, I didn't know him, but I was like, for me, I was like, that was fucking badass and cool.
yeah.
And it's like, he deserved that, man. So it's like, don't underestimate a guy with a bad record because they fucking like to fight. I've seen so many people win one fight and they won it and they never want to do it again.
Right. Yeah. It
That guy
happens
that
often.
guy that lost and wants to do it again, you fucking watch out because he
Yeah.
wants to be there. He likes to fight.
Yeah. That's true. It's crazy too because that's like the when people have their first fight, you kind of find out
Yep,
where they're at. You know,
100%.
because it is sometimes hard to tell, or they're good at acting.
Yep.
They're good at like, yeah, I want to do this, and then they don't actually.
Yeah, I've had guys even since I've opened the dojo in between rounds, like, holy, I shouldn't have brought him here. And
Mm,
you feel like, okay, you know what I mean? I
yeah,
mean, different stuff too. Like fights will break you too, right?
100%. Yeah,
So in between your stuff, when you're mean mugging at the start of the fight and in between rounds, you can just see that deer in the headlight eyes, and you're like, shit.
yeah,
And then you're more just coaching them to get out to survive at that point. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because you can
I
just see them
do.
broke, and myself too. I've broken fights too, man. And that's what I've told them before. I was like, man, the ones where you quit on yourself, you'll remember more than when you try your hardest, even if you lose. So
Yeah.
don't quit, man, because those are the ones that'll like
You'll
keep
be
you.
way more mad at yourself.
Yeah, man, you'll be way.
If you went out there and gave it your all and lost because they were better than you won't care.
No, you won't. You'll just
No.
be like, that's a win. Even
Yeah.
I tell like even those ones I was talking about, we had a lot of losses last year. Like I think we won 2 fights and lost 6. So I think we had like 8 fights. So we were on like a big losing streak. And I was like, but like for me, it wasn't even a losing streak because the guys are like accomplishing. It wasn't like we're getting blown out of the water. We were doing like everything. We worked on the fight camp. We just weren't getting some of the decisions, different stuff like that. So for me, that's a win. Amateur fighting, that's a win because we're fighting to get better. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I don't care about that, but there's like other ones where you like see guys self-destruct and you be like, shit, man. Well, if we're just coming here for Instagram photos, let's not come here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
different stuff like that. But and from me, who's done it long enough, I can see that stuff. I can see I've quit before. That's what I've told them. I'm like, I know what that looks like, man, because I've done it. And it's like those are the ones that kept me up at night. And then I made sure the next fight I was never fucking doing that again.
Mhm.
Because like I can remember those ones. The ones where I lost and I tried my hardest, I don't fucking care. Or like proud of myself, you know what I mean? But if
Right.
I ever quit on myself, I got a couple of times that I did and I broke and I quit. I'd be like, kept me up at night. And I don't think I'd fight for another year because I was like, man, if I'm gonna do that, should I be fighting? You know what I mean? So like I'd have moments like that, but it's like so I address that with all my fighters too. I'm like, you're gonna have these like anxieties. He's gonna have these anxieties. You got to compartmentalize them and like, you want to do this? It'll push you through it. Right?
Do you have a loss, like you personally, that like
My last fight, dude, it looked like Nick Diaz laying. I just like even I kind of want to fight again because I want to go on my own terms. My last fight is like a grudge match rematch. I could have kept going. I like just I don't know what it was, man. I'd lost a friend in life that, and I was like having these panic attacks training. It was just like I was in the weirdest spot I've had and where my biggest fight is, and then I kind of quit on myself and broke during the fight. So like that one is my last fight I ever did too. So like that's what I tell people. I'm like, and I quit. And I was like, I just kind of laid it down and fucking covered up. And it's just like, it reminded me like when I watched Nick Diaz fight, like I could have got up, beaten the guy
right?
back there, but I just kind of like, and so that one keeps me up at night, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. So I was like, and I tell my fighters that I'm like, you don't want to do that, man. You don't want to quit. You like that's my last fight memory. Do you know what I mean? So I don't like that. That's my last fight memory.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that one kind of haunts me,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
yeah.
my last one, right? But I'm a big mental preparation guy because like I would have it when I first started fighting, I'd be like kind of fearless, and I was like, and then you fight and you gotta like learn fear because you're like, oh, maybe I should be a little bit more worried about who I fight and do this
Yeah.
different stuff because it's like I've just been unconscious my last 2 fights. I fought the one I did a takedown, got knocked out, and then the guy hammer fist me, and then I fight another one, and I fight's going good, and I caught a rear naked choke and choked unconscious. So like 2 fights in 2 months where I'm basically unconscious. That was the other thing. I think I got knocked out, and I fought 6 weeks later.
Man. That's wild.
But like I was lucky I had the coach I did because like I would have fought every weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was
Right.
just my style, and I was just like, when I see the ties and go down and they fight and all the time, that's why they have that chill sparring, and but they want to fight every weekend. I would at that time, the Saskatchewan amateur MMA circuit was booming. There's like kickboxing
Right.
matches
Man,
you could
there's
do,
so much.
amateur MMA. There's like
Yeah,
all
man.
these options. There's more like, can I do this? Can I do this? And you'd be like, no, 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 fuck.
It was awesome
It was
though for a
awesome,
bit.
dude.
Like
You know, the worst thing that ever happened to this province for martial arts is UFC coming here because we have this pro commission. They shut down that amateur commission, and it was like it's just been trying to like pulling nails to build our martial arts circuit back here. I don't even want to get into it because it fucking frustrates me so much. But it's like we're flying to Nova Scotia to compete. We're never the hometown people. We never ever get to have these hometown cards anymore. And it's like for MMA, it's crappy, right?
you know, I heard a quote, like speaking on what you were just saying, like how you had to learn how to be scared because before you weren't.
Yeah.
It's like it's so interesting because I heard somebody once say that like if you're not scared, then you're not brave.
Yeah.
Then
That's like
you're just doing it. It'd be like going for a walk. Like you're not scared to go for a walk. So you're not brave for going for a walk. So if you're not scared when you go and fight, you're
that's a
not
perfect
brave.
analogy. Yeah.
But it's like if you're scared and you do it anyways, if you have that fear and you do it anyways, then now you're a fighter. Now you're a warrior. Now you're brave. Now you're courageous. You know, and
Fear
that's
keeps
like
you sharp too.
it does because it makes sure that you don't do the things that are gonna be like there's consequences in this sport. And those consequences,
Big
you go
time.
to sleep, you know, you get a concussion, you go to the hospital. So it's like you need enough fear to not put yourself in those positions. You know,
Last year, one of my fighters, both orbital bones broke.
that's crazy.
Amateur fighter, he went and fought again and won his fight.
Yeah,
But just like he's got fighter mentality. His name's Max. He's just like this tough kid. Never blocks punches. Gets his face broke in a fight. In between rounds, I can remember he has this little knot in his eye. I'm using the ansel and I can see it moving. He's like, "There's something in my eye." I'm like, no, just keep going." Sure
dang.
enough, it's like I didn't know his face was broke at the time, but
Right, right.
I was like, "This is not a normal bruise." Like when you work on the, and then after, yeah, both orbital bones are broke. And he fought. That was in the first round. He broke his face, and he fought two more rounds with it. So it's like this. It's not a joke, right? So then I made
Yeah,
him take. It was almost maybe last year, and he took a whole year off,
yeah.
6 months. So fighting's no joke, man.
No,
No, it's like I remember my first pro fight. I snapped the guy's arm. I don't think he's ever competed against since, right? You get like plates in his arm and stuff like that, and it's like
that's what I like about boxing. You just got these big pillows on your hands.
boxing's no joke though either, man. Like boxing has more deaths than any other combat sport.
Yeah, especially once you get into the 10 rounds, 12 rounds.
I want to ask you something. What's your thought on headgear?
I don't like it.
So the amateur boxing, you have to wear it, right?
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah, I know. Like
And
Canadian,
not everywhere.
not yeah.
Canada,
Even now, Canadian Muay Thai, like you go to Alberta, you don't have to
yeah.
wear it as it's an option now.
I don't think in the States you have to, or like they probably go state by state. They're pretty split.
Amateur
But
boxing Olympics is took out, right?
yeah, and even high level, like national level, international, like worlds and stuff like that, there's no headgear.
Yeah. Well, all
So
it
it's
does
like
is
once
superficial.
you
It's just
get, yeah, it
stopping bruising and cuts, but that's about it. It's shaking your brain worse. Your head's a bigger target. Muay Thai, it's
but
even worse. I can remember fighting amateur Muay Thai, and you get like your headgear pulled over your face and clench, and you're like, might as well do like John Claude Van Damme blood sport training where you're blind because you're fighting with this headgear over your face
yeah, I think that in my opinion, the only benefit it has is bonking heads.
and cuts.
Yeah, but like amateur, those are freaking pretty puffy gloves.
What ounce?
They're 10s, 12s, but like they're they have more cushion in them than a 16 ounce than your sparring gloves. They're like rounded. They're like so like you're not. That's why there's no knockouts in amateur because they're so springy. They're so cushiony. The people like you. No one's getting knocked out. It's like more TKOs. The ref stops it because they see a head snap back. You know,
Right. If you get your head turned, that's a
like I could go to 10 amateur events and not see one knockout. When it is a knockout, it's usually the big guys and it's like a flash knockout. Just like
got him, and that's an unforgiving weight class, bro.
yeah, it is, man. You
So
get touched
yeah.
and I fought in that weight class twice.
Dude, I remember seeing that guy was humongous. He fought. Dude, it looked like a Super Hulk tournament back in the Dream.
Real man. I had to put
And you're
on the
leaner
weight.
than you are. Like you were in shape too, right?
Yeah, I had to put on like 12 pounds for them to sanction that fight.
Yeah, that guy's huge. I seen that, man.
Yeah. And that guy's cool, man. He's from Regina and we're just good friends now.
Well, you have pretty good repertoire with all the guys you fought. You know, like
Yeah, man. Even before I fight, I go and talk to them, say what's up.
yeah, that's my style. I'm not usually that guy that's mean. Like I have. You eventually get to that point where MMA, that's a lot more common. I've noticed.
Yeah,
like,
and I think probably pro is a lot more common. Right?
Yeah,
Because
there's
you're
a
also
little-
trying to sell this.
Muay Thai events, so man, you don't see. It's pretty respectful. But like the second you get to the bigger MMA shows or like the MMA shows, there's been like some. I've had them myself too, right? Where you're like you get those guys, and I've had rivals and stuff like that, so you don't really like them. You don't like everyone you
Right.
fought.
I guess, but even when you think of Muay Thai, like you don't think of it like it's just kind of getting popular.
It's growing a lot the last couple of years.
Yeah, but like no, it wasn't like that. Like it wasn't like you're trying to sell like big show. Like you know, it
the
was
smallest
like
shows I've ever fought on were Muay Thai shows
right,
back in the day. I remember
exactly.
fighting in PA.
Yeah. So there's no reason to talk shit. There's no reason to make a name for yourself. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
and like these guys have 200 fights. They're fighting every other weekend. They don't got time to hate. You hate everyone.
No, you're
No
gonna see the
time.
guy the next
Right.
week or at the. Even right now, the martial art community is so small. I'm sure you notice this at all the boxing events. You see kind of the same kind of core people there all the time, and then you see
Yeah.
people haven't seen in
Yeah.
a hot minute. But
You
like
see the same people.
exactly, dude.
Yeah.
That's same
That
with the Muay Thai circuit here. I see everyone will go to the things and some of the fighters the first time. How do you know all these people? It's like, well, man, I've been doing this 20 years, and you go to the same stuff. You're seeing the same
right.
core people all the time. It's a small community, actually, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you get the more experienced guys who now have seen people, and they're saying hi to people that they've known or seen at events, and it kind of grows. And you get that small little circle going at the events.
Yeah. Yeah. Even in like when you think of gyms per province, like there's not many.
No,
Even the big cities. Like when you look at like you look at a city with 1 million people.
Saskatoon, biggest city in Saskatchewan, right? So, like,
Yeah.
how many gyms do we think we got? 8 or 50? If you're counting every martial art,
Every martial art.
there's like
Yeah.
30, 40 gyms maybe in that city, dude.
Like maybe not even that.
Dude, I bet you there's more than you think.
Really.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm fucking hyping that up, but dude, Saskatoon's big city, man. If you're going like there's kung fu, I bet you got 20 different martial art options in Saskatoon.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
right now, man, this is the booming our city's ever been. Now we got us, Warrior
Yeah.
Spirit, Four Corners Boxing.
You know what? I don't even.
And then there's like karate here. We got judo. We
I
got
always forget about
taekwondo.
like like the traditional ones.
Yeah.
I forget about
So like
that.
there's wushu ones in
Yeah,
Saskatoon.
100%.
You-
There's over 50 then.
Yeah, like you got to think, and like even
'Cause,
small ones.
Man,
Like,
this summer I was at a conference and I met this old where was he from? He was Chinese. I can't remember where he was from, but he was telling me this style I never even heard of before. And he has this little school, and I got his contact, and he's like, "You should come train, and then I'll come over and bring my guys over." But I just met him at this conference, and I don't even know what he was talking about. I never heard of it ever, man. And it was like, so there's even things like that where there's like martial arts styles that I don't even know about happening in Saskatoon.
dude, every martial art is a little something you can take for fighting, even if it's like maybe not wushu or, but like there is,
Yeah.
like I shouldn't say I'm talking shit about wushu because I didn't, but yeah. Anyways, but there's every martial art there's something you can take.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's my
I
point.
I like no matter. Well, you've trained with me. I don't kickbox like I'm supposed to. I don't box like I'm supposed to. I don't do.
Dude, since I met you, you've had your own kind of fighting style.
Yeah, I just take what works and I use it.
Yep.
And that's it. It's just like, yeah, if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna keep doing it.
But you're one of those guys. Like I got a guy like that named Seth who like he'll show up a couple times and he's like still the best guy in the room.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So then it's like when he gets consistently training, he gets scary. So that was like when you were consistently training, you get like scary. You don't get good, you get scary. You know what I mean? So it's like you need to shake that rust off here pretty soon.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Your
April.
coach Eric's right.
April, June, somewhere in there, I'm gonna fight. Actually, I just got asked to. There's a Indigenous tournament in end of February in Vancouver. It's just an amateur one. But Gary's taking a bunch of guys out there.
Is that what that tryout thing was for?
No. That was for I think under U23, under 23 for nationals for the national team
Okay.
for Olympic trials and stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't pique your interest right now?
Well, that's I'm too old.
Oh, yeah.
That's under 23. I know I look great.
Yeah. Back to my seat.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we even talked about your age. I even asked you.
So, but I want to do this tournament, buckskin gloves. It's called, and we used to have it here.
What's it called?
Buckskin gloves. So it's like Indigenous tournament where they just invite Indigenous fighters. But they're doing it in Vancouver. And Gary said one of his fighters might not be able to fight. So he said if he can't, you should take his spot. So I'm gonna do that so that'll be end of February. That'll just be amateur, and then I'll do a pro in April or June.
That's good. I think it's time.
Yeah.
Overdue.
What
about bare knuckle ever float your boat?
No.
Just because everyone breaks their hands? Or you just that pretty face?
I just like it's not the broken hand. It's like because most people don't break their hands. It's more of like they think it's broken, so then they tell everyone they broke their hand. But then when it heals, it didn't actually break, which is interesting because they told us that before. They're like, if your hand is swollen, don't go on social media and say you broke your hand because there's like a good chance you didn't.
Yeah.
And then all my fighters who have said that they broke their hand didn't
Didn't
break their
actually
hand.
break it.
Yeah. It's like, which is interesting. The part I don't like about it is how much cuts you get.
Well, I know, man.
That part is like, there's no way you'd have to pay me a lot of money to do a bare knuckle.
Yeah, but you can get like fight insurance where you get paid for your cuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Like for bare knuckle?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like there's fight insurance in Alberta. You don't know about this?
No.
Dude, some of those guys, like, I'm not going to name names, but my friend, he gets fight insurance, or a guy I know, he gets fight insurance, and he fought bare knuckle. He makes more off his cuts than he does off his fight.
What the heck?
There's fight insurance, man. I'll talk to you more about it when we're not on camera. But you definitely can get it. Guy comes down here and sells it. Yeah, for real. In Alberta, he's based out of there, and he's got a license in Saskatchewan. There's fight insurance here in Saskatchewan. There's fight insurance in Alberta. You can get it for fighters now.
Interesting.
And so it's funny. I just heard about this like this year. So all my fighters, after Max broke his face, he's got fight insurance now. He didn't have it at the start. So I just learned about all this stuff. And it's like
good
some
to
guys
know.
from Lethbridge all came in and like me and will bring him into his events. He's like, you guys are gonna fight. You should get this fight insurance. So there is an actual thing for fighters out now that it's called fight insurance.
Okay.
And you can get it. It's licensed in Saskatchewan, licensed in Alberta. And it's like basically like if you fight and you break your hand, depends on your level of insurance, you get paid for it. Same with like your cuts and different stuff like that. So like if you get the top level and you get cut during your fight, it pays out like $10,000.
Dang.
But you'd have to have this fights and then you'd have to get punched and a doctor has to sign off. And it's not like you can go and like, hey, punch me for this $10,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got to be at a doctor signed off on it and stuff. But it's like, yeah, there is fight insurance now, man.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing to know.
A bunch of my people here got it. Every one of my, like the last.
That's good too because most of my guys have fought in Alberta.
Yeah. So I'll literally give you the guy's information after this. And,
wicked, man.
Yeah.
Would you have done it?
100%. I'm going to get it right now just for training again because it's good to have. I'm going to start sparring. I just had knee surgery, so I'm going to start sparring again and stuff like that. So if you get cut training here, you get paid. This is fighting. It's like martial art life insurance.
No, I mean, would you do it? Would you have done a bare knuckle?
Oh, dude, you better edit that too. Would I do a bare knuckle? Absolutely. Like, I think if I do have a fight again, I'll probably do a bare knuckle.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's kind of like a bucket list thing for me right now. And I keep getting offered them right now, but I'm just like not ready to fight. So I might do one more fight. And if I do it, it'll probably be a bare knuckle. Truthfully.
On what show? Who's reaching out? Do you have it?
Rumble.
Cage.
Yeah.
They do bare knuckle
all the time, man. The same guy that told me about his fight insurance is the guy I'm thinking about fighting. So
okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. So
where's Rumble out of?
Lethbridge. Lethbridge is like, I don't care what anyone says, Lethbridge is the fight capital of Canada.
I think so.
At one time, there's the most full contact mixed martial arts in the world. Like when I first started, it was like Pride was like in its heyday and stuff. Like in Rumble, you could stomp on the ground, head kick, and elbow and knee onto the head. It was the most full contact martial arts in the world. They don't do that now. They went to unified rules. But at one point, Lethbridge was the most full contact martial arts in the world. And they still have, like, there's fight events there. You have Muay Thai fights there. We're going down for Brandon.
A couple every
February 28th, and then April there's Rumble in the Cage.
Yeah,
I think I go to Lethbridge 3 or 4 times a year just because the events are so good. The fight, it's a fight city too, kind of an oil rig city. It's just like everyone loves. They
always record it. They have like a big show, big screen.
Rumble in the Cage also is Canada's longest running promotion. I think it was around like 2000. Like I literally think it's 26-year promotion. They've had like 70. It's crazy, man. Yeah, back to Lee Min, like. That guy's Canadian legend, man, of martial arts, man. He's always setting up fights. The second I started when I first opened the dojo, I remember even like getting fights in Unified set up through Lee. Like he'd just come set him up for me and be like, hey, Cory, this. And still today, he gives people my information. Lee's awesome like that. He's just kind of that guy that like more about everyone getting fights. I think he's been promoting so long, he understands it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's fighting still.
Dude, when people ask me my favorite fighter, I say Lee Man, and I'm not fucking joking. Like, I
watched him fight bare knuckle.
Yeah, he just had a tough one not too long ago, but I love his attitude too. You know, he's got that samurai. You know, always dies with the arrow in his heart, never in his back,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
backs
yeah.
down. Just like, and then, brushes his dust off and goes back to fight another day.
Yeah.
Crazy. And how old is he, dude? And he looks like,
I
dude, he's like, looks like the real life, like Terminator. He's just like
yeah.
absolute, literally looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like I don't know how old he is, but like mid to late 40s.
I think he's almost 60, bro.
Almost 60?
Yeah, I think he's like 56 or something like that, or 50, maybe even older. I'll look this up after. I can't even remember what year I fought, dude. But Lee Meehan's almost
Wow,
60, and he
man.
said he's gonna retire when he's 60.
I would
He's
never have guessed that.
Dude. Well, he looks like he's like 30.
Yeah,
I probably
man.
look older than Lee. Like, yeah, he looks super good, dude. He.
Crazy, man.
We'll have to look it up after. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's in his 50s, bro, and does not look like it.
Crazy,
And
man.
loves fight like that guy. I love how he just fights on a week's notice. Anyone doesn't Guy doesn't show up to a fight event, leave me and ends up grappling him or like guy
Mm.
just always like there to save the fight event. That's kind of like cool style. If
So
we had
for
fights here, that's like how I'd try and beat him, but it's just
okay, for Rumble, they do bare knuckle MMA or do they do bare
yeah,
knuckle
they have bare
boxing?
knuckle MMA, they have bare knuckle boxing. Yeah, and then they have super boxing, which is like this weird thing where it's just stand up, you can do takedowns and standing submissions. It's like the only place in the world you can do it.
Hmm.
And then they have amateur MMA, pro MMA, Muay Thai, like pro Muay Thai or like full contact Muay Thai, and then amateur Muay Thai, and then combat jujitsu too. So it's like
That's like
that's what I'm saying. It's
that's
just
jujitsu with strikes?
yeah,
Or palm
yeah,
open
palm
hand?
strikes. I think just palm strikes. Yeah.
That's
So it's like all these options. So like when you get so for Rumble when they sent or left or anything in Lethbridge, like you got options for there because it's like okay, I got a jujitsu guy. You want to do a combat jujitsu? I've had guys. Do you know where to do combat jujitsu? And it's like yeah, Lethbridge, man.
mm,
It's just like awesome thing of martial arts, right? I wish it was city regulated for martial arts here in Saskatchewan. Like everyone had their own commission, like because that's how it is in Alberta, right? It's like per city you have your own commissions.
right. Yeah. This place sucks
Yeah,
for
so
that.
for martial, dude, honestly, it's like
Yeah.
even we were having these media, like it's just it's hard. It's a hard go, right? We're always going out of town. It's like I don't know why our province doesn't do it. It'd be we don't have athletes growing from here, or we do, but it's like from the gyms we got to go the extra mile to get everyone to compete. Boxing commission, pardon me, boxing commission way better. It truthfully is. You guys
Yeah.
have fight events every couple of weeks here, man. It's like super. I was like,
Yeah, the amateur,
definitely, man. It's way better.
but our pro is sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
Our
okay.
pro is tough to deal with because they want so much money.
Like the commissions. Same
Yeah.
with. I don't know
For
how anyone has an event here because you're basically
well,
getting one
anytime there's a
event.
pro one, it's somebody who has a contact of a big sponsor.
Yeah,
That's it. That's why we never
and
have
then that
pro.
event ends up probably not making any money. And they don't do another one.
Right.
So even here is like the last couple MMA events that were happening in the province is like if the promoters broke even, I'm pretty sure that was a win to them.
That's
So you're basically doing this to try and grow your athletes
right.
and the sport in your province so it becomes more popular. So it'd be be a hard go.
It'd be interesting to meet the people that are like, this is a good idea. You know, like who's saying yes to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So like, because like it's not happening. It's like okay, let's make it really expensive to have a fight. So now nobody has fights. So now we're not making money either because nobody's having fights. They're not making money because they can't afford to put on fights. Like who's sitting there at this board table being like, this is what we should do? Now
No,
nobody's making money.
legit.
That's dumb.
And just for like the sport aspect of it for a country, like we're not gonna have much.
Even if it does come down to money, you know, like obviously that's what it's for is the athletes. But let's say like, you know, like money runs the world.
Yeah.
Now nobody's making money.
No, legit, right?
So it's just like, even then it's dumb. So whether it's for money or for the fighters, this sucks.
You'll go to those fight events too. Commission people are making more than the fighters on it.
Right. Easily. Yeah.
Crazy, right? So it's like they're not getting punched in the face. They're not training for months to do
And
it.
honestly, that's a big reason why bare knuckle is
Growing,
because they pay their fighters.
and they should.
And they should. Everyone should. But they actually are. you know?
Here though, like at the when you get a little more involved in the promotions and you see how much money it's cost them to run, and then it's like you gotta like one thing I was proud of myself as a fighter is like I always knew they were making money off of me being on their event. I could tell.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because like a lot of people would come and support you and then be like that, but it's like you'd see those people wouldn't even be like you. It's like you're not even really trying to like sell money to make money, but you gotta sell those tickets to like so we have another event the next time to go to. It's not just for like yourself to make money. It's also like, hey, if we all promote this and this gets bigger, then we're gonna have another show. Otherwise, you're just doing this one time. And it's like I've been doing it long enough that I noticed that. And it's like so that was the
Mhm.
thing where it's like, man, if this gets bigger, more people that sell more tickets, the more money they make, the more likely we're gonna have another event that we can all compete on. And I
Very
was like
interesting.
so in love with fighting that I was just all about that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like the balance, you know? Like if you want to make this a lifestyle, it's like you have to have the balance of like loving it, but then just like also knowing your worth, you know? And that's tricky.
Oh, for sure.
It's tricky.
At the end of my fight career, I kinda learned that, and it was like I wasn't even gung ho on fighting at that point. So I was making them if I was coming,
Right.
they're paying me to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also knew I'm gonna return this with ticket sales and other stuff like that, and it's like, you'd see guys that would have take fights and just bear down on their training, which is good for the fight aspect, but it's like you're not growing yourself as
Yeah,
an
yeah.
athlete or the sport or the promotion, but it's like, I get why some athletes don't care about that, right? But it's like, it's good for is to grow the sport and to make sure we have more stuff to do in the area. That's my
Mhm.
opinion.
So speaking on like like when you were kind of done with fighting, did you have like a moment when you were just like I'm done with fighting?
Dude, it was in my last fight.
Okay.
I was having this like deep anxiety in the back and I was like, what? I was like, this, and I wasn't having it for, I had that maybe in my first couple fights. And then I dialed out and got it so focused. And then at the end of my career, this weird, I didn't want to be there, man. And I knew it. And then I went out and I was fighting and I was getting hit. I remember just like, I could have got back up and I just laid back down. And at that moment, when I sat back down, I was like, okay, I got to take, like, I'm done. I remember thinking, like, I'm just done with fighting. I still was coaching at that point, but I was like kind of dialed out mentally. And then I was like, and then I got back into that pro wrestling when I told you. So I was like, I needed this outlet. I
Right,
needed
right.
this escape, but I was still teaching. But it's kind of like that would have been probably the worst I ever felt as a coach. I was so disconnected from the sport. I was just almost like, and I probably did another 6 months after my fight. And then COVID happened and stuff like that. So it's like, it was this weird thing. My nickname's Irish Virus. And then like I stopped training because of the coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
So it was this funny little like irony, but then it like during COVID, this weird thing happened where I like got cut off from everything. And then then I had fighting taken away from me. And then I was like, hey, I love this. I was like, maybe I won't fight again because my head's not where it needs to be for fighting. And it's like fighting's mental as much as it more than it is physical.
Right.
Fighting's a mental game too, right? So if my head wasn't there, no matter how good a shape I got in, I knew I wouldn't be there for the fight. So then I was like, then I missed it. So then I just started training. And I was like, then I just like, okay, I love martial arts. I need this in my life. And I knew that. So then I like had that back in there. But it's like, well, am I going to fight again? Probably not. But I'm like, maybe I can help other people fight. They can learn from my
Mhm.
mistakes. They can do all this other stuff. So it's like, that's what I say. And I've lost, but you learn more from a loss. That's how I got so smart. That's what I tell everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
For real though, right? When you make a lot of mistakes, you learn a lot. And it's like, don't do this, don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't.
When you win, you change nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like losing is learning. You win or you learn. That's it. And it's nice. Like I think we kind of have the same mentality with amateur. That's why I try and tell my boxers is like this doesn't mean anything. It's like it means it like it's like we're going to somebody's old dirty gym to fight. The people in that gym are the only ones who are going to see this. You and the person you're fighting are the only ones who are going to remember this. And depending on how many fights you do, you might not even remember this. It's like no one actually cares. We're here to learn. Let's see if what we've been training is going to work in here. And then it's like so that when we do go to provincials, we go to nationals, we go to these bigger tournaments, Golden Gloves. That's when you want this stuff to work. Not in this old ass gym with freaking 32 people in the crowd.
Exactly,
It's like
man.
who cares? What we're trying to see is like under pressure is what we're training working. And it's like, that might take 15 fights.
Even for me, there's like guys I know they might not have a pro fight career, but they're doing all this hard work. And it's like, have a fight. Have this little reward. Even if you only get 1 or 2 fights, but it's like, at least you did it.
Right.
You won't have any regrets. You won't have any. I'm not saying like you should have someone like dabbling and fighting, but like if you're putting in the work and it's like you're there and you want to do it, I definitely encourage that.
Yeah.
I definitely think someone, if you're here training, go in the deep end of the pool. I always
Right.
use that analogy. Like you can train all you want, but until you actually fight, that's the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
Everything else, training is like getting ready to go in that deep end of the pool. You're just sitting
Yeah.
in the shallow end unless you compete. And that's my
Try it.
truthful opinion.
Try it out.
If swimming's not for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, that's definitely my style. I agree with you. Even we do in-house tournaments now. And I know a lot of the guys like, oh, I don't want to fight someone here. And it's like, well, we're not fighting someone. We're doing this. So then when we go, I had a guy who did the in-house tournament. He didn't win. And we went to another tournament, absolutely liked it up. And he's like, after, I'm so happy you did that in-house. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's why we're doing that, Matt. We're not doing it to say I'm better than someone I'm training on the mats. We're doing it so when we go to another place, we
Yeah.
can excel there and not feel kind of the similar pressure and the similar scenarios that you're going to have in an actual competition, right?
Yeah.
So
It's hard too to get people to. I was just. I went and did some sparring with some of Vicky's boxers on Wednesday. What day is it? Thursday? So yesterday, last night. CTE. But that's what we were talking about is like we're not going that hard, but you have to think about like these shots that are landing, like what would they actually do if we were going 100%? So it's like, yeah, you took that one and came back and threw 4 punches, but like, could you have,
if I was
you
wait,
know?
yeah,
And it's like you have to, and these guys, some of them only have 1, 2 fights, some of them haven't fought yet, so like they still don't really think like that yet. But it's like even those things you gotta discuss and just be like you have to think. Like you just sparred a guy that was 40 pounds less than you. If he, if a person who was your weight landed that overhand right, you think you would have just kept going?
walk you through it. And
No, you would have took a step back. You would have you would have done something that wouldn't have looked like just boom, and then now you're back on this guy who's 50 pounds less than you. So it's like, have the awareness that
yeah,
you just got hit with
100%.
an overhand right.
Especially when people are pulling their stuff and you get like someone
Right.
who's really controlled, and then they'll be like,
Yeah. And like that, because that's how I always think when I'm sparring people. Is like I'm always just thinking that like this isn't what would be that's not how this person would be reacting to this.
Yeah.
So that's why I can just keep my cool when they're like freaking out
that
a
comes with
bit.
being more
Yeah.
experienced, and you gotta.
And it's just like, because like I know if this 1-2 was 1-2, you would be stepping backwards right now. You wouldn't,
the pressure, yeah,
right? And it's just
exactly.
like I just try and tell that to them, like that's not what would have happened. So just like be aware. You take that head kick, be like, fuck. Don't be like, oh, I countered after, so like I won that exchange. No,
You have
you
to
might have been dead
self-awareness when
after that exchange.
exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, like your guy, what's his name? He always does the question mark kick.
Seth.
Yeah, he hit me with that like 4 times in one day, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I could be dead.
So here's
I
a
would be
funny
dead.
story. Seth comes as trains his first week. And there was like right when I first opened, like Seth's one of my like day one guys, right? And then he comes and he could do that question mark kick. It's the first day.
Okay.
And I was like, how do you know how to do this? He's like, UFC game. Like Max Holloway style. He's learning techniques off of playing a UFC game and practicing it in the mirror. And I was just like,
That's
so he was good, right? Like he
hilarious,
was good
man.
before he was
Yeah,
like
just
one
at
of those
home
natural
in his
guys.
basement
Yeah,
practicing.
he's a crazy
this.
athlete, man. Seth's one of my favorite people, man. But
Yeah.
he's just like funny kid, man.
Yeah, he's wicked.
He's got like him and Max. Like when I think of my fighters, it's just like not a close second. These are like my day one guys.
Mhm.
They're like my little brothers. And I just like their mentality's just so. Even when I'm talking about those losses, like Seth got knocked out, Max broke his face. It's like one of the hardest days of my life as a coach. But like how they handled it, like made it easier for me.
Right.
They're just like these two little gangsters about it. And like Max, like, well, I broke my face. Didn't even want to tell me. And then Seth, after like truthfully, he hated me in the first round, and like in between rounds, he wasn't really responding. And Troy Scheer, my coach, is in the corner. I looked and I was like, should I wave it off? And I said, Seth, what are we gonna do? And he started answering me. And I was like, Seth, I'm never gonna count out, right? First fight he ever had, he was losing, and second round he knocked his guy out. So I'm like, I'm not going to count Seth out of nothing, right? And
Right.
then he went out and he had another. He got knocked out pretty hard, right? And so then it was like hard to see. Then I was like, fuck, I should have stopped it. So for me as a coach, it was like you don't want to count out your guys, but you got to. So it was like this balancing act, and it was like I was going to stop it, but then he answered me, and then I was like, "Okay," and I believe in this kid, right? So I was like, I didn't want to count him out, and I was like, I know Seth. I know Seth would have been. I know he wouldn't have been mad at me if I stopped it, but I know he wanted to keep going out there too,
Yeah.
right? So then he went out there and he went out in a shield like a samurai, didn't back down. I'm like kid to kid, guy with a spinning elbow, front kick to the face, has his best round he has in the fight, then ends up losing and getting clipped with a really hard shot where against a really good fighter too. Like Seth's two losses are against that Gabriel Brown from Unified, who's like now undefeated, I think 4-0 as a pro. And
Right.
then he's lost to Luke Vanillacourt from Blackbird, who's an absolute killer. He's only fought killers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The guy he fought in his first fight had 4 fights in Seth's first. He's just been like this, like that kid, man. I could say like, Seth, we're going to fight Ilya Poirier, and you'd be like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? I'm a little heavy right now, though. Something like that.
No,
Like, like,
that's
do
cool.
you know what I mean? Like, that's his mentality,
Yeah.
right? So, same with Max, right? Those two guys are just, I got to be like, that's why I'm being smarter now. I'm going to be like, no, we're not fighting that guy. Max got this fight offer, and I told him, he's like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're waiting. We're going to grow you. You
Yeah.
get a
Yeah. Yeah.
different matchup. So, we've been doing stuff like that, right? So, that's stuff I've been learning now.
What do you think about like when you think of this as like a community, like when you think of like having a gym full of killers versus like a gym full of good people?
I think we do have that.
Yeah.
I think it's a gym full of good people who are like have this mutual thing, but like there's a killer instinct you can't teach.
Right.
So like here, just to even be on the mats, you got to have a good vibe, or it's too small of a place where you're not going to be welcomed, right? It's just going to be like we'll have to. Do you know what I mean by that? I don't mean like you're either going to fit in here because we have this good mentality. If you're not a good person, you're not going to fit in with anyone here. But you got to have that own killer instinct.
Have
Like
you ever had to tell someone like, I don't think this is a fit?
yeah, multiple times. Yeah,
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
had to have a couple people leave and stuff like that that
Yeah.
were even coaching from
That's
fighting. So
that's good.
yeah, but it's like it's hard, and it's like it's still like not something I'm like happy about. Is you
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
want to have, but it's like it's something you got to do to keep the
Right.
stuff here, right? Like keep everything going. The energy on the mat is more important to me than anything else in my life.
Right.
So if that gets messed with, I can't have that because it's like throw my whole life off.
Mm,
And that's how I feel. And it's like
right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. The energy on the mat's sacred to me, man. For
Yeah.
real. And it's like, even myself, like, I've had a couple bad days where it's like, I've had to like check myself, be like, man, you're controlling the energy on the mat. And if I got this bad energy, it just bleeds to the whole room.
Yeah.
So it's like big on, gotta have positive energy while we're training. And it's hard because it's like, can be a frustrating sport at times too, right? So it's like, you get people fired up and like having temper tantrums. The other week in sparring, I had a guy like throw his gloves off and go have a temper tantrum, but he kind of got hit with a hard shot. But it was like a clean, it was just like nothing happened. And then it's like, let him blow off his steam, came back. He was cool.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the guy that hit him with the hard shot one gave him a fist pump, and it was like
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have to even police it or anything like that. These guys just
That's
like know
wicked.
that's the vibe here. Like we aren't like coming to take each other's heads off. If it happens, we're not fucking doing ballet.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like if it happens, you like don't escalate it, acknowledge it, and like if it was continuously happening, I got to step in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I've had that happen too, where you see guys turning up, and you're like, okay, fucking off the mats.
Yeah. Just every time it just slowly gets harder.
And then
You're
you,
like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
Just
do it too.
slowly- yeah,
Even
yeah,
when you
it's-
spar, and
yeah.
you're it's hard because you got to protect yourself when you're training, right? If you're like, even when you're talking about like, I'm letting that guy hit him on that 1-2, and that guy's coming forward and attacking you with everything he's got, and you're like pulling your stuff. There's party that wants to be like, fuck you, and get them back, but you have to. Now that I'm more experienced, like I don't do that, right? Like I got to
Right.
turn it in. And it's like no, and you're trying to teach that to the other people. Like, hey man, just dial it in. Like what are you worried about? You if you know you could have hit him with something, right? Like just dial it in and let's train proper.
Mm,
So like that's bi-weekly occurrence sometimes during sparring class, but I mean, I try and get us like sparring minimal hardness. Fight camps will have like our hard days at our fight team training, but in my class sparring, it's definitely like a tie speed. I don't want people's heads getting turned. We're not hitting with like intent. We're hitting with technique. That's how it should be.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What do you think is going back to like, having those fighters that are super skilled and kind of like naturally gifted, but not very disciplined? What do you do in that situation?
Well,
Would you do
like,
you got to throw him in there sometimes, or do you just say, "Hey,
some
you got to be here more"?
so, like, I just hyped Seth up, but I'm gonna pick on him a little bit because now I've created this monster that just wants to do fight camps.
Mm,
And then I'm like, "Man, you're not gonna progress as an athlete if you're just doing fight camps." Right? So now he's been coming in consistently training without just, like, me dangling this carrot of a fight.
right, right, right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and I just basically had to tell him, like, "Hey, we're not doing a fight till you consistently train,
Mm,
and then we'll book something." You know
that's
what I
smart.
mean? So then it's like, even we had a fight offer in Unified, and it was like, "We're not doing it because you aren't training." And he's like, "Yeah, I agree. Okay." Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So it's
that's
like
good.
stuff like that. But it's like, that's how I deal with it. And for me, I was never that guy that like got to show up and was naturally talented. I was like, oh, I was there every day. I'm still there every day. I'm a guy that like works hard. My student Max is kind of like that. He's here every day. He's not like gonna win an athletic competition and thing, but he's like this guy. He's just this tough kid who's here every day, fucking training, man. And
Yeah,
then everyone's like, man, Max is getting so good. It's like a weird thing.
yeah.
If you train all the time, you get really good.
Yeah, last time I was here sparring, he freaking swept me. Didn't even see it. I was like, man, this guy is freaking.
So
He's
funny.
getting good, man.
He's getting so good, man. He's like, he's my dude, and he's
I
like,
remember the first time I was here inspired. And I remember just like, man, you gotta. I'm like hitting you with everything I throw. I'm just landing every time I throw. And then the last time, which was like the first time I sparred was when you were in the basement still.
yeah, yeah, like in the
So
original building, right?
yeah, so I don't know how long the difference was, but
So
now
I'm open for like 3 weeks. Max's brother trains with me in my garage, and then Max comes like maybe almost like under 2 weeks of us being open. He's been with me, so it'd probably be like right when we
yeah,
first come, right? So this is like almost 3 years ago now.
man, yeah, it's a big improvement.
Yeah, and every fight they talk about his chin, and he smiles like,
He's always
dude, he's
smiling.
crazy, man. He is like headbutting punches and stuff, and then the commentators like, he should be 3-0. But he does this like crazy stuff that I'm like, okay, he's like, well, the punches aren't hurting me. I'm like, but they're fucking
But they're
scoring.
points.
They're
Yeah.
fucking scoring. And then the ref is stopping me like, that kid has the best chin I've ever seen. And I have to be like, hey, well, for the record, I teach him how to block. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, even his last fight,
So
he's smiling at the guy. They give him an interview. They interview him and they're like, look like you're smiling out there. And Max gives like, he's the funniest kid too. He's like, yeah, kind of got this problem about smiling when I fight. It was like, he's hilarious, man. But he's like, and he truthfully can't help it, man. He just loves, it's like this humble kid who loves fighting.
yeah,
And is like, man, and his chin. But I told him, like, you're a human being, man. You're breaking your face and you're not stopping. Like, that's how tough you are. But so we've been working, blocking and head movement and
yeah,
stuff. And I was like, people are going to also start attacking your body because they know you got this fucking cast iron head.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, get ready. Cause man, anyone who's seen footage of you, I'd be attacking your skinny ass body.
And what about the other way then? If somebody's super disciplined, but then like scared to get in there,
I have those
how do
too, man. You get
yeah,
like
how
those
do you
people.
coach somebody like that? Because like that's the part I struggle with is like, how do I
You'll see these world,
them?
but
Yeah, man.
you know they could light
Yeah,
someone up. But you can't. It's like you can only lead a horse to the water.
yeah,
And if they're not going to drink, and fighting's like this thing you don't want to sign someone up for if they don't want to do it.
right. Yeah,
But it's like, I have this guy, his name's Dylan, man. But he's like a dad of two, runs this big successful business in town, but he could fight and compete. One of the best guys in the room, like dumping people, sweeping, at Muay Thai's super good, Jiu-Jitsu's super good. But it's like, he's just kind of like, oh man, I got this. Like, it's like, I'm like, you should compete. He's like, yeah, man, I got this business. I got like, and it's like, well, what do I do? Tell him like, no, man, don't take care of your family, run your business. Like, you should do an amateur fight. No, that's not how life works. So you see these people, it's like, and he's like, I just love it. I do. And it's like, he's here helping everyone get ready. I hope one day he does compete, but if he doesn't, I get it. But it's like, I know what you're saying. You see these guys and it's like, I'm like Shane Gillis when I see that football player with potential, you just got to want him to get in there, right? But it's
yeah,
like, sometimes they won't get in there, right?
yeah. It's hard to teach. It's hard to coach the mental side. I still don't
You
know how.
can't,
No.
Cole. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
You can help them and tell them stuff, but your mind is going to be you. I had a coach, Karen Oliver, and she's like so
Oh
big
yeah,
on,
man.
yeah,
She's
she's
wicked.
one of my favorite
She
people.
still
in the world.
messages
Me too,
me
man.
when I post
Shout out to
stuff.
Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite people, man. So it was like she would tell me like, you have to do mental preparation. And like when she was there and she told me to get a journal, start journaling all my stuff. Every fight I like did my mental preparation, I had good success on. Any win I ever had I was mentally there. And then after I'd kind of be like, I don't got to address this. and then you'd have these little malfunctions when you fight and you compete if I didn't mental. That's why I'm like big on mental preparation.
Right.
Mentally, you can only help someone, but they got to do it themselves because it's your brain.
Yeah. It's crazy too, because sometimes people just have like a breakthrough. Because I had one guy who I've been trying to get to take a fight for so long, and then he finally took one. It didn't go his way. Just like anyone's first fight.
You could,
You gas, you go into like brawl mode, you go into like fight or flight. And I always tell everyone, like, your first fight you're not gonna box how you spar.
No.
It's just everything's gonna go out the window, and that's fine. And that's what happened. But he was so hard on himself for it. And then I did a podcast with this pretty high level boxing coach from Alberta, and he was talking about that. And he had maybe 15, 20 minutes on like what amateur boxing is, what like you should be taking out of it, why you shouldn't make it such a big. And I told my boxer to listen to that, and he said, "Man, I've never related with a podcast more in my life." And since then, like now, he just wants to fight. He just wants to
that's
get
awesome
better,
to
and
hear,
it just
man.
like it
Yeah.
was just like this thing that it was like that switch, and it's cool because sometimes I'm like I don't know what to do, and some people don't even recognize how good they are. I'm like,
That's
you're
the hardest part.
amazing.
When I think of this, you want to know who I think of? You. Because I would think like, remember, I'd always be like, Keen, let's get like, you should fight and compete. You should do this. And you're still going to the bar lots at that point. You're a little bit younger, right?
Yeah.
And stuff. And it was like, I'd watch you and I'd just be like, fuck, man, you should compete and do this. And I'd think of that all the time with you, dude. Because you would come to my sparring class and I would say, dude, you should compete. Am I wrong?
No, I know.
Right? So then I think of that. So then when I like, obviously we're separated. We're not even training together at that point when I watched you compete, but I knew, I'm like, fuck, Cole's going to kill it. So I knew. I was like, this is this guy I wanted to compete for years. And you're watching that. Even like big Kyle, always wanted him to fight.
Yeah.
Like out of Gary's club.
Yeah.
Because I trained him too, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, still, he messaged me the other day, like one of my favorite people. Dude, and I was like, when I knew he was competing, I was like, this kid's going to kill it. Like, Gary's lucky to have him, man, because he's just like super coachable kid. I fucking love Kyle.
Yeah.
And I like
So
one of those
nice
guys like that
too.
where I'd be like, why don't you compete? And he'd be like,
Yeah.
still doing he's wrestling at the time. He was a young kid. I think he's like, I'm teaching him when he's in high school. Right. So he's just like this awesome kid. And it was just like, I think he's after that. I was like, you got to start keeping one of T's best training partners is Kyle. We always bring him in for fight camps. Good. Like, if you can get Kyle off you, and be able to get these other guys off you. So he'd help T so much with his fight camp, man. So I was like, cool. He's another guy when I watched compete, I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, cause you do, like when you're saying, you're going to watch these people and you know they're going to kill it. But it's just like fighting's a hard thing to get someone to sign up for.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy. It's crazy because I think about that now. I think about that often because I'm just like, why didn't I fight? Like, I have no idea. I think I was just like so focused on partying. Like, not like focus, but like
that's your priority.
Enough where it was like, what am I doing this weekend? Like, what am I doing this weekend? Like, and then after I stopped drinking, like there was like 2 years where I didn't drink at all. And then I just kind of, then that's when like, then I started boxing and I do freaking 14 fights in 3 months. And then it's just like,
yeah, like,
it's
that's
like
crazy.
wicked.
Bro. Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, why couldn't I have done that when I was like 22, 23?
But sometimes you're not having that, I think, might have almost made you better, though, too.
Maybe because I probably have way more brain damage.
A lot of CT talk this podcast.
I know.
But for real, man, right? Like, yeah, it was like,
well, like even just like even how I train now is way smarter than how I used to train.
Me too, man.
So like if I trained like that for 10 years compared to how I train now, like since I started like training like decently, like 28, 29 to now, like there's probably like 1 year when I was like 23 that I took more damage than the 6 years of me training and actually fighting. There's probably like some years when I was young training where I took more damage than all those years put together.
My first 2 years of martial arts might be the roughest 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was hopped right into the frying pan and I did not know what I was doing and should not have been at places I was.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? But I was like definitely that guy that was like, let me do it, blah, blah, blah. And going there.
Sparring kids. I remember sparring at Scheer's and like went pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I would go home and I would have like a line through my vision, like this blurry line, and like even if I closed my eye, it was still there, and like I'm just like that can't be
But
good.
they don't spar like even like Troy doesn't spar like that anymore.
Yeah,
That guy spar
yeah.
like that
Nobody
anymore. No
does.
one does,
Nobody does.
but it's almost
Things
you
changed,
had
right?
to that was
Yeah.
like the common thing. Like this is how you do it. You don't get
Yeah,
if you don't
it's
do it,
not
you're not
just
gonna do it right.
Shears because like the
No.
boxing gyms I went to back then, every kickball
Everyone,
like Siam, like in
everyone
Regina,
sparred like that.
everyone sparred like that. It was like we're sparring hard,
Yeah.
sparring like 80% are up
It went
every
80
time.
for round one and two,
Yeah, yeah,
100,
right,
until you get too tired to back down to the 80.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's
oh, that
like
was a nice late round. Just both.
bloody nose coming down and just like tearing my
Yeah.
eyes.
So yeah, that was like everyone did that. So like, and then now it's like when if I do a hard round, it's like I'm helping somebody prepare for a fight.
Yes.
That's
And
it.
you do have to have them. But like, I will literally write on like when I'm planning out their fight camps. Okay, we're doing a hard round this day.
Right.
Yeah, I want 2 in a fight camp
Yeah.
tops
Yeah.
because you have to have it. And I want one mid fight camp and then one kind of not a couple weeks out, but like mid, like start of the fight camp, mid fight camp, and then we're dialing in. I don't want anything getting hurt before the fight. Like kind of that's kind of my mentality. Then we'll save it for when you're out there.
Right.
But if the first time you're feeling that is in your fight, fucking good luck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got to be this natural killer that's gonna just fight or flight it, right?
Yeah. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Well, frick.
Yeah, we've been talking a while, bro.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Yeah, good chats, man.
Well, should we wrap this up?
Absolutely, dude.
I don't know if there's anything anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say, any if you have anything coming up, anything like that,
We
say it.
got some plans in the work, but nothing set in stone here. I was talking to you about them earlier. We'll keep
Mhm.
that till things going, and then just shout out to everyone that trains with me at Green Dojo and all my coaches that help me. Like I got this community, and it's like my coach Amanda. I never give her enough credit for what she does for me. She like runs this jujitsu program and stuff. So I want to give her a big shout out, definitely, because like she's kind of the backbone of the dojo. Does my website, helps me like with all this other stuff. She has so much stuff behind the scenes, and like we're like such polar opposites too. You know, I'm like this like can kind of be off the wall certain days of my life and stuff like that. And like I'm hyper. She's super cool, calculated, organized. I'm not, you know what I mean? So that stuff I gotta give her mad props. She's like started a kids jujitsu program here, grown it, all this other stuff. And I'm like super proud of her. Goes in down to Saskatoon and trains, comes back here, brings stuff home, like always stuff like that. And then it's like, and my other coach is like, I got Cory that coaches me every week. I'm super proud of him. He like has his core group that come to his class too, like probably get break from my classes. And then, you know, and just like everyone that comes to the dojo, man, I'm like super grateful. So
Awesome.
that's about it. And you, thanks. Since you've been coming down, you know, like always been super cool. We're still homies, right? You always
Yeah.
come and work with the guys, and it's like come train all over in the city, and make sure you still always come in here. So I appreciate that. And like same with everyone back in Saskatoon. I got a good reputation with like everyone's still at Shears, everyone there. So like all that stuff. I try and like think like I don't have really enemies in martial arts, man. I don't want to get like that. And it's like even the people that don't like me, I don't really care. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like
Awesome, man.
yeah.
Well, thank you, man. I know, like, for me, like, man, you've been the same ever since I've known you. You've just been like a good friend, a good person to train with, a good mentor, a good coach. You know, like there's always been respect. It's always just been like good.
Oh,
You know,
back
and
at you, dude.
yeah, and I can just tell uh like what you're doing here is good, you know, because
I,
you just have good intentions behind it, just like you always have. So this is awesome, man.
oh, I appreciate that, man. Back
Yeah.
at you, dude. Super proud of you, man.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Good chat.
Yes, sir.